Since the turn of the year, Spokane Zephyr FC have been among the best in the USL Super League. Their next test, Lexington SC, bottom of the table. Taylor Almer scored the first of 3 goals against the Tampa Bay Sun last weekend and will look to add to her total tally on the season of 4 goals. While mid-season acquisition Hannah White picked up a second goal of her campaign last time out and attempts to end a win streak for the home side. The inaugural season of the USL Super League is into its final month. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest, where the Spokane Zephyr FC face off with Lexington SC. Alongside former MLS goalkeeper Jeff Attinella, I'm Jack Edwards here with you in the broadcast booth on Peacock. Lexington have been eliminated from playoff contention, but Spokane, 3 points could do a huge service in their playoff race.
They still have everything to play for with not many games left in the spring season, but don't sleep on Lexington. When a team is in this position, they're eliminated from the playoffs, they look to play the role as spoiler, and that's what they're going to do tonight against Spokane. But for Spokane, it's all about getting 3 points. They've been getting results this entire spring season, and they want to keep propelling themselves up the standings and putting themselves above the 4-team playoff line.
These teams met back on April 16th. It was a 3-0 win on the road for Spokane. Ekich picking up 2 goals and an assist. She's now scored in all 3 meetings against Lexington. They got their first win against Lexington.
And that's going to need to be a player that Spokane focuses tonight, and Lexington needs to be aware of where she is on the field at all times. She has been absolutely dominant, especially in this spring season, especially against a team like Lexington. And in this game, they swarmed. That's what Spokane does so well. They swarmed Lexington, didn't give them the opportunity to build themselves into the game, and that's what they're going to be looking to do tonight as well.
The big storyline has been a leap from fall to spring. Just 2 wins in 14 games in the fall, 7 in 10. It's why they're in the playoff race.
It's just an incredible turnaround when you look at the difference in the win total from the fall to the spring season. And then as you go down this stat line, the goals scored is up. The goals conceded is what really does it for me, because you know when you're giving up goals, that's not a recipe for success. But to get that number down to 10, that's a huge part of the reason why they've been able to get 7 out of 10 in this spring season. And like you said, this is why they are in the playoff race, is because of their performances in the spring.
On the flip side, for Lexington, they've got the second most goals scored in the second half in the league, 19, but just 7 goals in the first half.
And that's really been the problem for Lexington. It hasn't been their response coming out of halftime. It's been their response starting the games. They've started games slow. There's been mental lapses that they have to recover from coming out of the halftime tunnel. And credit to them for having the responses that they've had in the second half. But in order for them to get on the right side of this game tonight, they need a bright start against a Spokane team.
It's the 4th and final meeting between these sides this campaign. A win apiece and a draw in the first 3 meetings. One team can take a definitive stance on the overall season series. Is it going to be Spokane? Is it going to be Lexington in the final meeting of 2024-25 in the USL Super League?
I'd rather be famous instead.
We are moments away from kick between Spokane and Lexington for the fourth and final meeting of the campaign between these two sides. This match at One Spokane Stadium. Incredibly excited to be with you alongside Jeff Attinella. Jack Edwards here with you in the broadcast booth. Spokane just one change after a 3-2 win at home against Tampa Bay last time out. Alyssa Bourgeois comes back in the back line for Reese Tappan.
And we have Hope Heisey in goal for this team. She leads the leagues in save with 60 goals. And we talked about Amina Ekich in the open. She has 7 goals for this team. But look for this team in this formation. They like to press with the numbers that they have up top. Look for those front six to fly numbers forward and make life difficult for Lexington.
Well, here is Lexington's lineup under interim coach Sam Stockley. They make no changes after a defeat against Dallas. They had an equalizer in the 69th minute and lost the lead again in the 70th last time out.
Parsons, the forward, she leads this team in goals. Look for her to be a pest in this back line, especially when they have those opportunities to play against the press. And two of the players that I want to focus on tonight is Wisniewski and Moyer in the middle. Their ability to find gaps within the press in between those lines is going to be so crucial if Lexington is going to be able to control the flow of the game tonight.
Those are your lineups for both of these teams. At One Spokane Stadium. It's an important match for both of these sides. Spokane a chance to continue their push up the table. They've won 7 of 10 games here in the spring, but they haven't really broken up in terms of those top positions in the table. They are 6th entering the day. They could have climbed as high as 3rd, depending on results elsewhere. They're going to control what they can control, try and pick up 3 points, while Lexington, eliminated from playoff contention, trying to prove themselves as spoilers on the road here today. Lauren Aldrich is our head official. We get the first whistle from her, and headed from right to left, our Spokane in the blue kits, Lexington in the whites, on the road here today. Jack Edwards, Jeff Attinella with you live on Peacock. The win here just a few weeks ago for Spokane was their first against Lexington, 3-0, and it does reflect overall a big leap in form and success from fall to spring after a draw and a defeat when these teams met back in the fall. It's a throw-in early on for Spokane, taken long into the box, aiming for Cook. Looking into the box at the end line, Bourgeois keeps it in play. Pushed out, sits up, a shot again blocked. A pair of blocks there from Perez. There's a slew of bodies, a free kick going against Spokane, so it's a Lexington free kick inside their own 18-yard box. Less than a minute into the game, some early action. Spokane trying to get off on the front foot.
And right there, we're already getting an early look at what Spokane wants to do tonight. They want to fly numbers forward, and they want to attack quickly. They don't want to give Lexington the opportunity to develop and build themselves into this game, and we already get an early look at it. It's one ball over the top, they press, they squeeze, and then the next thing you know, they're getting opportunities on goal. Look for this fast start from Spokane to continue, and this is what they're going to try and do and swarm this Lexington group just like they did in the last time out.
Here are your keys to the game presented by Ford. Kind of building on what you were saying, capitalizing chances for Spokane and those mental lapses for Lexington important.
And Lexington, this has been a team where they feel like they've played well, but there's just been moments in games that have cost them results, and that's what's been costing them this season. And on the flip side, Spokane, they haven't been, if you could believe it, as the results have fallen the way they haven't had as many chances on goal as they've had in the fall season, but they've just been more efficient. So when you get your opportunities in front of net, making sure that you continue to be efficient and putting the ball on goal to either force the goalkeeper into a save or put the ball into the back of the net, that is the name of the game for this Spokane offense.
Just to underscore that point you made about fewer chances, but the goals improving in that match against Tampa Bay. They won 3-2, Jeff. They were outshot 25-4. Their 3 goals all came from really strong chances. But when we talked to Jo Johnson, she admitted maybe some more chances would be good, but the quality of the chances were very strong.
And it was kind of the bend but don't break mentality when you're talking about defensively as well. But at the end of the day, it's all about, it doesn't matter how many chances you create if you are putting the ball into the back of the net for the chances that you do create, and it ultimately gets you the ability to win. And when we talk to Coach, she's talking about how they've been in playoff mode this entire season. So for them, it's just about getting those 3 points. Of course, you want to generate more chances if you can. But if you could be that efficient, you're not going to be upset getting 3 points against a team like Tampa.
Amina Ekich, a miscommunication with Haley Thomas. There is Jo Johnson here. Her first head coaching opportunity, 2021 to 24, an assistant coach at the University of Tulsa. It was a slow start, like a lot of players in this Spokane team keeping the faith and confidence rewarded. The spring has been very profitable. Here's Lexington with a bit of possession, moving it back into their own defensive half. Watson lets it run across her body, plays it along. Julie Mackin trying a probing pass forward. Defensive work, rolls to Ekich, taken off her foot. Here's Lopez, checks in onto her left. Delivery into the area, pushed away. Mackenzie Weiner thought about chasing that one down. It ran too fast, out of play. Throw in here for Lexington, led by Sam Stockley, the interim coach. On the men's side of Lexington, the sporting director filling in. Just one win so far. It's been a up and down season so far, just 17 points on the campaign. There's a free kick going against Lexington. Mackenzie Weiner caught there in a tangle between her and Hannah White. Last place, but attempting to provide spoiler. A replay of the foul just a moment ago. Weiner jumping in, White a bit too overzealous trying to win the ball back, commits the foul, and Sydney Cummings plays it across to Clark.
Yeah, it was a good job defensively. Hannah White, she's a strong player on the ball, especially when she takes that positive first touch, but it's a good bit of defending there to get your body in front of it and ultimately draw that foul, regaining that possession for Spokane. I do like the way that Lexington has started this game. I think that they've done a good job of establishing a little bit of possession and making sure that they're slowly building into this thing. But again, you have to be able to defend. You have to be able to defend the Spokane counterattack.
As you were saying that, Jeff, a solid half chance there from Spokane. Can't quite get the link-up play to work up top. Haley Thomas on the overlap from left back, not able to latch on to that pass from Allie Cook. It goes out for a goal kick that will be taken far side by Madison Perez. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Kinetic Chiropractic, a modern approach to chiropractic care. No major introductions to the injury report for either team. It's mainly been long-term absentees. Emma Jaskinek for Spokane was dealing with a bit of illness in the week. It was touch and go for her whether or not she'd be available, but fortunately for her and for Spokane, available to play in the midfield. Emma Jaskinek, we'll see if it's for a full 90. Never easy to play when you're slightly under the weather, as Jaskinek might be at this point. Here's Allie Cook, 3 goals since coming in the mid-season. Pass out only goes to Bourgeois. Late in the box, can't quite link up. Trying to get that one to Murray, it looked like, but it rolls out of play. Goal kick here. Just
a little bit too much on that pass. The opening was there. They had positioning on that back shoulder of the defender. I think if you're able to weight that ball just a little bit softer, then you're able to connect on that running on the through ball, get yourself a chance on goal. But again, you're getting an early look, especially here on these goal kicks. Look at how Spokane just steps to the ball. And this is a great ball here from the goalkeeper of Lexington to break this press. Something that Sam Stockley talked about as well.
It's a solid pass between the lines. There's a few options forward in White. Slowing things down was Hannah White. She wanted a deflection along the way, did not get one. Hannah White frustrated. 2 goals for her since coming in from Georgia after spending 2023 and 2024 in the SEC. That shot goes over the goal.
You know what I love about that is you don't think about goal kicks straight off the training ground. That's a goal kick design play straight off the training ground. They know how Spokane wants to press. It's a good ball into the target forward. You get those runners making those wide runs and you're able to connect through those gaps. So it's a well-designed goal kick to beat the press.
Here's Weiner, has Cook and Ekich's options. We'll have a crack herself. It goes through a crowd. Sarah Cox collects. As a former goalkeeper yourself, Jeff, were they making design plays for you on goal kicks on these long balls forward?
It started to develop the later that I went in my career. It was something where if you knew how a team was going to press or you had their tendencies, once you see them, you get the different options because it's all about for the coaching. You want to provide the players with different looks and different options based off of what you're expecting them to do so that you can make the decisions on the field. If a forward does this, as you get another look at this replay here, Spokane to do such a good job in this counterattack. Ultimately, the shot didn't have enough on it to be the goalkeeper, but just a good reminder of how quickly they can attack. But when you're talking about goal kicks, there's so many different options and there's so many different ways of pressing. For coaches, it's all about giving you the tools to figure out how to beat it and how to be the most efficient and effective. And when you're able to do something like that off the training pitch and it comes off successfully, all that hard work and all the preparation that the coaches do to put it into place is ultimately rewarded.
Vernus plays a pass backwards. How do you feel about the center backs taking the goal kick sometimes?
Not good.
Taking it away from you.
Yeah,
less touches.
Not a big center back taking goal kicks fan. I think that especially as the goalkeeper position continues to evolve and the emphasis of playing with your feet as a goalkeeper, you'll see less and less of that. But I like when goalkeepers step up and take their own kicks.
So it's moved all the way along to the far side of the field, dropped into the box, a solid pass. Important block by Cummings, cleared away by Thomas. It's going to be a foot race here. Ali Cook chasing after what might seem to be a hopeless ball, but forces a pass into the midfield. Ekich comes onto it. She may have been thinking about a long-range strike, but Métis Lopez was over her shoulder to hassle her and not allow her to pick her head up fully. Here's Hope Heisey to Sydney Cummings. Jaskinek in the midfield. Here's Ekich. One-on-one with her fullback, driving into the box. She's brought down in the area, and there's a point to the spot. An early penalty 10 minutes into the game as Julie Mackin is beaten to the spot by Amina Ekich.
And this is just a good build-up play here from Spokane. It comes from the midfield. They're breaking lines, and then you get the ball to the most dangerous player on the field, Ekich. It's step over, it's step over. It's a good positive touch into that space. And Mackin, she's beat on these two step overs and that big touch. She gets a little bit flat-footed. Her body isn't rounded the right way, and she is forced to foul. She knows it. And then again, great build-up play leads to this opportunity for Ekich to draw the penalty kick.
It's a penalty opportunity now for Spokane. Amina Ekich won the penalty. She will take the penalty. Leads a team in goals and assists. Takes this penalty, slight stutter, and puts it home. Amina Ekich, 8 goals on the season. Now 5 of them come in against Lexington. She scored in all 4 meetings with their opponents from Kentucky.
Well, you love it when a player earns the penalty kick and then they're able to step up. There was no doubt that she was going to be the penalty kick taker. As we get another look at it here, she gets the defender flat-footed, and then Mackin is forced to foul on the entry with the double step over and the sweep move there. And on this one, just a little hesitation in the run up. The goalkeeper does a good job of reading it, but ultimately the power that she was able to put on this shot is going to be the thing that got it in the net. She opens up her hip here. Goalkeeper takes 1 step to her left. Good job deceptively from Ekich on the penalty kick, and that power is just put them up 1-0.
Early goal for Amina Ekich. Lays that pass forward for Cook, showing off her hold-up play. Dragging a center back out of position and plays it to Cummings. Bourgeois puts the one towards the back post. Cox ropes it in.
When we're talking about defending, one of the most important things for defenders, you need to keep your body square. Once you get yourself a little bit flat-footed and then your hips and everything is pointed towards the attacking player and that attacking player is running at you at full speed, that's when you're already beat. It's tough to make those recovery runs, and that's why she was ultimately forced into the foul. Drop your hips a little bit. Make sure that you keep everything in front of you, and just know that that speed touch is going to be the thing that ultimately will beat you. So you have to be ready and able to take that dynamic step backwards, so you're not forced in that position to foul.
Ekich plays one backwards. Ekich scored the 2nd goal for Spokane when these teams last met here in October of last year. This one dropped in the box. Cox claims that one out of the air. Ekich scored the 1st goal when they drew in Lexington in November from the penalty spot, and she scored a brace just 2 weeks ago. She has scored every game she's played against Lexington, 5 goals now against Lexington. She gets a toe to that ball forward. Here's Lopez, drags this one back and now can pull it into the midfield. Moved along. Here's Vernus, picks her head up, trying to swing one to this near side. Her first pass blocked, was trying to find Parsons, far side of the field. Was there a foul there? Yes, there was, on the edge of the 18-yard box. A chance here with a set piece after some good footwork. Free kick won by Hannah White. Brought down by Alyssa Bourgeois.
Bourgeois, I thought she does a good job here. I think it's that hand contact that ultimately gets a foul call, but at the end of the play, I thought she did a good job with the shoulder, getting her body in front. But it's that arm that, once that arm gets extended, it makes the call easy for the referee. And a good response here from Lexington. They bounced back from this goal. They built up a little bit of possession, and now they have an opportunity for a set piece in a dangerous spot.
It's an interesting position. Could go for a shot. Could go for a cross into the box. Lopez opts for delivery. Nodded back. Central. Knocked upfield. Perez. Coming to receive it is Moyer. That's a poor touch on the far side of the field, out for a throw-in. We'll scan now, and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you, Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Method Juice Cafe. Throw in here for Lexington, down a 0-0 to a Amina Ekich penalty. This one drops into the penalty area, takes an awkward hop, goes all the way back to Sarah Cox, who welcomes that one into her grasp. Rolls it back into play for Trinity Watson. Here's Watson. Back in trying a long ball forward. Jaskinet comes on to the loose ball. Here's Lopez. It's a clever idea on this pass in for Maddie Parsons. Has it near the corner flag. Creeping in field, good bit of footwork to open up an angle delivery into the box, well defended by Spokane. Weinert. Here's Bourgeois, rolls it forward. Here's Allie Cook.
Parsons doing a good job out wide there for Lexington. Fancy footwork, but the problem when Parsons is out wide is that Parsons isn't in the box. Parsons is the player. We'd like to see her in the box. Maybe we can get a winger out wide making those runs so that she could do what she does best, get herself in front of the net. But you have to give her credit for that fancy footwork. But I'd like to see her get herself a little bit more involved in front of the goal so that she could be on the receiving end of crosses like the one she just put in.
Métis Lopez and Parsons have both played in right wing and striker positions. Right now it looks like it's Parsons through the middle, Lopez out to the right. It was inverted on that last attacking sequence that we saw. Long ball forward. Header by Bourgeois. Second try at it, pushes this one upfield. Out now for a throw-in. The Windermere Foundation is thrilled to welcome our charity of the month. It's more than a home, it's a way to give back. Please visit our site at www.windermerefoundation.com. Bourgeois, time to pick her head up and play a long ball forward. Too central for Ekich. Puts up an appreciative hand, but it runs too fast.
You have to appreciate the idea. Anytime you see Ekich in one-on-one opportunities, trying to get her the ball so she can go out those outside backs, it's a recipe for success.
Played forward, too heavy for Lopez, out for a goal kick. So we were talking before the game about the importance of this playoff race for Spokane. And elsewhere, Fort Lauderdale and Brooklyn playing, I'm not sure many people would have projected after the form Brooklyn has been in for them to be up by 4 goals on the road in South Florida. They're up 4-1 right now in the final minutes against Fort Lauderdale.
Well, it's that time of year where playoffs are on the line, results are going to get a little bit nutty. I don't think there's anybody that would have signed themselves up for a 4-1 Brooklyn win in Fort Lauderdale as a guessing point, but you know, when the playoffs are on the line, the stadiums are on the line, that's when teams really step up, and credit Brooklyn for getting a result because it was very much needed, and I'm sure that's something that's going to do wonders for their locker room as they travel back home.
It's been a confidence issue for Brooklyn, who have just been in a complete rut in the spring. But as things stand, obviously still a lot of time left in this match, and a match still to be played tomorrow between Tampa Bay and Dallas, a match that was postponed from this evening. It would put Spokane into third, level on points with Brooklyn, who would be in fourth. That's the live table as it stands. The head-to-head for Spokane important. They will play Brooklyn in their next match a week from today. This shot takes a deflection. There's a foul, push from behind, and it's a free kick. But that will just ramp up the intensity of that head-to-head match at Brooklyn for Spokane. If they're still level on points with just 3 games to go, there are 3 games after this one here today for both of these teams. At Brooklyn for Spokane, at DC, and then at home against Fort Lauderdale.
The thing that was surprising for me in that drop down is you look at a team like Brooklyn, right now they're above the line, their goal differential
-4.
is -4.
They've had some heavy defeats here in the spring, but they're doing their work to cut back into that goal difference deficit they find themselves in. It's a clever poke forward for Cook. A return ball for Weiner. It rolls a little too fast. Still in the attacking third with Spokane. Rolled back by Murray. Just an important note. Obviously, goal difference a big factor, but it's not the first tiebreaker come the end of the season. It's head-to-head points earned in regular season games. Goal difference overall is the secondary tiebreaker. That one is lost and rolls out of play. Sam Stockley barking out instructions. It's 20 minutes in here. It was a big focus when we talked to him, trying to get off to a strong start. Pose themselves in the first 45 minutes. He liked how they responded to being down a goal at halftime at Dallas last time out. Felt they responded to changes well. They scored an equalizer. Hannah White, a brilliant take to score a goal in the second half, where they've scored a majority of their goals so far this season. But the issue from Sam Stockley in his view of it was they got too high emotionally after that goal and conceded just less than 30 seconds later. It rolls out of play. They conceded. Celie Strawn took the lead back in the 70th and 93rd. Allie Thornton sealed a 3-1 win.
And that's been part of the problem for Lexington is those moments where you need to be extremely locked in. There's a saying that they say the first 5 minutes of every half and the first 5 minutes after you give up a goal, those are the most important emotional moments in a game. And that's just an indicator of what Lexington's been doing with this year. It hasn't been their football. It hasn't been the way that they've been playing. It's been those moments where they lose a little bit of concentration that has been costing them games this season.
Weiner keeps that one alive and drops it into the box. It was a clever idea. Katie Murray latching onto it. No one able to get onto the secondary ball. It's picked up by Sarah Cox. In the midfield now with Lexington. Near side, Mackin. Last touch by Weiner, out for a throw. Elite Minds, unlock your mind, unlock your game. Visit our website here today. It's a good turn. The attacking third, big touch. What a tackle from behind. Alyssa Bourgeois. It's poked forward. That one last touching. Spokane quickly taken into the box. Parsons, it hops up. She wanted a handball, didn't get it. Jaskinek hooks it along to Cook. That's another good tackle. This one coming in from Madison Perez. Both teams putting their bodies on the line for some of these last-ditch tackles. Rolled forward, aiming for Lopez. Gets on the end of it, squares it across, blocked by Cummings. Here's Ekich. Good drag back, trying to roll that one forward. A little ambitious in the pass, gives up a throw.
That's a great entry ball there from Mackin at the right back. Finds that space in between the line, able to find that runner. Perfectly weighted ball. Good job by Spokane, making sure they had bodies in the box to deal with that cross, but that's a fantastic entry ball to get that ball behind that back line.
Ekich sees that ball out for a goal kick. We got good insight from both Joe Johnson from Spokane and Sam Stockley into some of the tactical intricacies of this game. And we saw there the defensive work from Ekich, who earned a penalty and scored the lone goal of the match. But a give and a take as Mackenzie Weiner is running onto this ball over the top. That's good defensive work. That is going to earn a goal kick. Just how you tinker with your wingers, how much defensive work you have them do. Weiner, 3 goals in the season so far, picking up 2 goals last game. And Ekich, of course, in the form she's in as well.
Well, it's a balance, right? For Spokane, you want to have your wingers as high as possible throughout the course of the game. And on the flip side, if you're Lexington, they want to try to overload the outside back so that those wingers are forced to defend a little bit. So that's the chess matchup that you have outside. Spokane, are they comfortable having a 2v1 with the outside back so they can leave Ekich a little bit higher to be on the receiving end of those transitional moments? Or do they want to have it 2v2? And Lexington's going to try and overload, but when you do try to overload out wide, you leave yourself a little bit susceptible to the counter when the ball is going out the other side. So there's a bit of a tactical chess match going on right now, and especially when you're talking about Ekich, because she's really the player of focus. And how does Lexington go about dealing with her and trying to take her out of the game, even though it hasn't been too successful here in the first 25.
She was able to receive the ball, drive in the box, and draw a penalty. Julie Mackin in the 11th minute scored the penalty herself. 8 goals in the season for Ekich. For the 25th minute. Perez plays it to Cox. Cook putting the press on. It's Ryder that puts this one for Jaskinek. She wins the loose ball. Here's Weinert. Weinert stumbles a little, able to roll it back to Murray. Bourgeois offering width, delivers one to the edge of the 18. Ekich the target. It's pushed away. Here's Parsons trying to hold play up. That's going to be a foul by Maddie Parsons. Ended up fouling Sarah Clark.
Parsons does a good job of gaining control of this ball. She's under that pressure. They had a 2v1 opportunity with White running along the outside, but Parsons just a little bit overzealous there with the challenge at the end of that good little bit of spill of possession where she was able to maintain that ball in that strong hold-up play.
Out wide. Thomas to the end line. Right along that end line. Cox bravely gets in front of Cook, able to pick that up. Moving a little slowly after that is Trinity Watson.
That was a good bit of goalkeeping there from Cox. Whenever there's a ball driven to the near post, the more that you as a goalkeeper can meet the ball in front of that near post so that you're eliminating those near post runners for the other team, that's exactly how you draw it up and what you want it to look like. So when that ball drives across the ground, and instead of waiting on the ball, Cox decides I'm going to go get this ball and make sure that I beat it to the near post, that's exactly what you want to do in those types of situations.
Almer. Ball forward, too heavy. Goes out for a throw deep inside the Lexington half. COR Institute, your wellness playground. Here in the 28th minute, Lexington trying to carry this one out. Ekich gets a toe in, takes it off Lopez. Lopez wins it back, fired to her feet. Weiner will continue the press, forces a long ball forward. And the press successful.
Forcing Lexington to hit those long balls and not being able to break those lines. That's good job from Spokane. You want to be able to force them into hitting these balls so that your defense is either in a position to gather it and then you can gather the second ball after winning it, but just making life continually difficult so Lexington can't find that rhythm.
Stockley barking out some instructions after Métis Lopez a little slow to get up after this coming together with Ali Cook.
It's uncomfortable there. I know they getting hit in your lower back like that. It's not going to feel good, but I definitely didn't think that was anything malicious there from Cook. Just more so trying to protect yourself as the player's backing into you.
So a drop ball for Lexington. And Aldrich. Center referee has had one major call to make. It was a fairly obvious penalty to give for Amina Ekich. Spokane slightly more passive in the pressure here. Cook will begin to re-engage it. Cox moves one to the far side of the field for Libby Moore. Moore bringing it infield. Here's Watson. That's a really calm drop of the shoulder. Her pass a little too heavy. Métis Lopez worked hard to try and keep that in play, unable to do so. It's out for a throw. Very even in terms of possession, 52 to 48 through our first 29 minutes. Ekich squaring up with her defender. Cook trying to slide one forward, just too heavy on the pass there for Murray. Thomas on the loose ball.
I feel like for both teams, those entry balls have just been a little bit off right now. Just a little bit too much weight on the passes, but the opportunities are there. Each team are finding spaces in between the back lines. It's just about connecting on this entry ball.
There was a great entry ball, but that was perfect from you, Jeff. Just a little too much weight on some of these passes. That was emblematic of it.
And that's just been for both teams tonight. There's been these opportunities where the defense is a little bit flat, so these runners that are getting in behind, they have the chance to run into that space, but it's just that final product, that entry ball has just been a little bit too long or it's been a little bit off. And if either of these teams can start cleaning that up, these opportunities will start falling.
Weinert, important pressure, helps win it back. Here's Murray. Amina Ekich rolls one. Here's Murray. Watson. Back to Cox. Perez. Mackin. Ekich comes onto the loose ball, rolls it forward. Murray. Far side of the field. It's a good turn centrally. Murray brings it down.
It's a good job here by Spokane, spreading the field out, being patient. Lexington, with all the numbers behind the ball the way that they do, you just want to keep the ball moving from side to side and wait until you see those opportunities to break those lines so you can get yourself in more of a 1v1 situation. But like you're seeing here, if you don't have the opportunity to break those lines, it's a great entry ball.
Here's Cook on the turn. Weinert, that's a good touch out of her feet. Weinert across goal. At the back post, Thomas not able to keep it in play. That was some pass by Mackenzie Weinert trying to create a chance.
And it starts with a great entry ball, but Weinert doing everything right in this situation. That's the entry ball I'm talking about. Good, strong hold-up play. And then Weiner does everything right in this. Positive touch down the line, drives that ball hard across the ground, waiting for one of her teammates to get there. Maybe it bounces off a Lexington player. This is why you drive the ball hard off the ground. Great step there, hard across the ground, just a little bit out of reach, but she does everything right in that moment. And that started with the patience that I was talking about. Move the ball side to side, be patient, waiting for your opportunity to play that entry ball.
Weiner to brace last match against Tampa Bay. Someone just runs over the top. Joe Johnson just believing that keeping the faith in her, very important. The goals beginning to come, 3 goals in April. Found herself in the team of the month alongside Sydney Cummings from Spokane. Ekich on the bench. Lopez hold up play here. There's a free kick there. Opportunity for Lexington with a dead ball. We'll scan the QR code to vote for your favorite Lumberbeard co-branded can. The winning can will be sold in stadium and select stores next month. Lumberbeard, your preferred craft brewery partner of USL Spokane. Lexington will toss some numbers forward here. Offer options for Madison Perez. Forward, header along, deflection along the way. We'll have the first corner of the match from the far side of the field. Lexington have been a good set piece team so far this season. What can they try and generate from this opportunity? This is going to be an ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. Far side of the field, it's gonna be Madison Perez.
Lots of numbers right in front of the goalkeeper. Look for Perez to try to drop this ball right inside of the 6.
She'll do just that. Able to climb up and get it was Hope Heisey.
Good strong goalkeeping there from Heisey. Interesting strategy here because there is a lot of traffic around the goalkeeper, but once that ball is played in, Heisey has a clear path to the ball. Good timing on her jump. Good range as well, almost all the way to the edge of her 6-yard box to get out of that cross.
It's one of those qualities that Joe Johnson likes a lot about Hope Heisey is her strength in the air. Also likes her range of passing, her ability to lead the back line. Driving forward from defense. Clever idea, but a little too heavy from Melissa Bourgeois.
Yeah, plenty of space there for Bourgeois to take it, drive it towards the middle of the field. And again, this back line for Lexington is playing very flat. When you have a flat back line like that, those runs in behind will be there and they'll be open. It's just about connecting that last pass.
Rolled forward, Parsons lays it wide for White. A few options in the area. Able to have a crack towards the box, and that was right along the goal line. They're making half-hearted appeals to the assistant on this near side that it crossed the goal line, but Hope Heisey does just about enough to keep it out of the back of the net.
I thought it looked pretty close as well as White takes a good strike. I mean, that back foot is behind the goal line. I wonder if there's a different angle that we can get a little bit more towards the goal line, but I mean, that back foot, I think that Lexington might have had a little bit of an argument there. But ultimately, it's another save, added to the save total. Leading the league in saves, Heisey is.
It falls for Cook, has a shot from distance.
Why not? You see the goalkeeper out. Good, powerful strike. I do want to give Lexington a little bit of credit because some of the themes that they've had throughout this season is putting their heads down, not responding well when you give up a goal. But I think Lexington's done a good job. They gave up the penalty kick. It was an unfortunate 1v1 situation that led to that. But outside of that, there hasn't been too many big chances for Spokane. I think they're doing a good job with their pressure, doing a good job here balancing out with their press. Then on the offensive side, they've been creating a couple chances and slowly building themselves into this game. So we need to give Lexington a little bit of credit for the way that they've responded.
Heavy touch. Weinert comes onto it. A shot from distance. It goes just wide. Mackenzie Weinert in some good form. Trying to follow up on a brace last match. That left-footed shot goes just wide of Sarah Cox's goal.
Well, just as I give him credit, these are what you need to avoid if you're Lexington. It's these turnovers in the back, because the way that Spokane likes to play, it's all about this press. Gets it onto her left foot, pushes it just a little bit wide. Just closes her hip here a little bit too much. She's trying to get it to that near post. But as she closes that hip, that ball continues to travel just out for the goal kick.
Mina Ekich, the lone goal so far in the 11th minute. Played forward. Lopez back to goal. Here's Perez. Moore. Parsons with some hold-up play, clips it for White. Able to get onto the ball here. Facing up with Bourgeois. Trying to pick out Vernus. Gets it to her. The touch escapes her. Murray's ball forward. Runs too fast. Out for a throw-in. Here's Watson. Out for a throw here. Enter the Brinks Tires Tailgate Kit Sweepstakes for a chance to win a prize pack worth up to $3,000. You can scan the QR code on the screen to enter here today. Mina Ekich has it poked away from her feet, out for a throw-in for Spokane. Ekich, a nutmeg on the return pass to Thomas. Clark moves it over to Cummings. Out now, throw in here for Lexington. 7 shots for the home side, 3 for the visitors. The best chance, of course, coming from the penalty from Mina Ekich. Separates the sides in the final minutes of our first half. See the shot disparity there. The inverse of last match, where Spokane had very few opportunities in terms of overall quantity. Outshot 25-4, but had 3 really good chances. They scored all 3 of them. Lopez gets onto it. Her touch too heavy. Out for a throw-in.
That's what we talk about, the efficiency. Spokane in this spring season, they've been very efficient in front of goal, making the most of those opportunities. Those numbers are a little bit weighted a little bit more tonight. 7 shots, 2 shots on goal. I think a part of that is you have to give Lexington credit. They're playing a little bit of bend but don't break defense. Doing a good job keeping a lot of things in front of them.
Cummings. Bourgeois trying one over the top for Weinert. Foot race the goalkeeper is always favored for. Slight coming together between Cox and Weinert.
And then we get another look at it there. There is space behind these back lines, especially on the Lexington side.
Comes for Jaskinik. Picks her head up. Forced backwards. Almer. forward. Clark. Pass too heavy for Cook. Turned over. Ekich in the press. Forces it all the way back to Cox. Getting a foot in there. Weinert. Falls for White. Ball runs out of play. It's going to be a throw in here. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. Knotted down for a Spokane throw-in. Final moments of the first 45. Bourgeois, a long throw, launches it into the box. It sits up. Returned to where it came from, another throw in from the far side of the field for Spokane.
It's a big moment here for Lexington. Last 5 minutes of a half, these are moments where those lapses cost you in terms of energy and emotionally, so being strong here will be a huge sign of improvement from the last time these two met.
Pushed upfield. Header by Clark. No nonsense clearance up into the channel. Parsons chasing, won't get there in time. It's out for a throw. Thomas loses her touch. Lopez onto it. Here's Amina Ekich. That's going to be a foul there, going against Ali Cook. We enter into first half stoppage time presented by Rosar Supermarkets. There's 1 minute added on. Trinity Watson's a little slow to get back up.
A good little bit of pain there. Just a 50-50 ball that went up. Watson ended up getting the worst of it.
Both teams to get a breather here in the final seconds as Watson's getting some treatment here.
This is what Watson went down over. Oh, just off the turf.
Yeah.
The way she hit the ground.
Hard fall. So we're coming into the final stages here of our first 45 minutes. A pre-halftime team talk for both of these teams. Start to get your thoughts on those first 45. Jeff, let's start with Spokane up by a goal. How do you think Joe Johnson is feeling after those first 45 minutes?
I think that she'd want them to be on their front foot a little bit more. She really spoke about how once they were able to get that goal, they wanted to keep their foot on the gas. And I don't think that they were really able to do that after the penalty kick goal. I thought that Lexington did a good job of slowing the game down a little bit more, keeping everything in front of them. So I think that if you're Coach Johnson, the idea is we want to continue to be on the front foot. We want to press. We want to throw numbers forward. We want to be dynamic. And I do think that offensively, those entry ball are really the things that has been lacking, because there is space in those back lines. They're finding those spaces, but just really trying to focus on being effective in those moments, which is one of the key points, and connecting on that final pass so that you're able to take advantage of those moments where you do find yourself in behind that back line.
So it's a free kick here. Cox clips one upfield. We might get a few more seconds added on. It's poked out of play. Waving back into the game is Trinity Watson. He's back up and moving after a bit of a hard fall. That's a strong challenge put in by Jaskinek. Here is Watson after resuming her play in this game. Batted down, Cummings puts a foot through it, clears it upfield. Cook trying to win it, as is Weiner. It's out for a throw in here for Spokane. There's the final whistle for our first 45 minutes. One goal from Amina Ekich separates the two sides, scored from the penalty spot in the 11th minute. Final thoughts on those first 45 minutes from you, Jeff?
I thought it was a pretty evenly played first match. I think you have to give Lexington credit. They showed up here tonight, ready to play, ready to step on the pitch and give Spokane a game. They've had a couple different opportunities on each side, so I'd expect a little bit of halftime adjustments. I think Spokane comes out flying a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if Lexington starts taking a little bit more risk as the game goes on, because at the end of the day, they're here to play spoiler, and they want to try to get all 3 points. So a little bit of halftime adjustments, but again, evenly played first match, and give both teams a lot of credit for the way that they were able to respond to a little bit of adversity on either side.
7 shots to 3. Spokane edge it. They're up by a goal at halftime. Amina Ekich scoring it. We're joined now by Taylor Almer. Jack and Jeff here with you, Taylor. Just what did you make of those first 45 minutes from your group?
You know, I think we had some really good moments, and then some moments that we just weren't as clean, especially in and around the box. So for us, it's just like cleaning up those final moments, having a little more patience and waiting for the right moment, but really positive that we walked away with a goal.
Taylor, do you think that those moments are the things that you need to step up and improve in the second half, or are there other things that you identify that could make this game a little bit more in your favor?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just like keeping possession and possession with a purpose, and we don't have to break every single time. Sometimes we can just step on it and keep it and wait for our moment, and just connecting those last final few passes.
Taylor, thank you very much for the time. Good luck second half.
Thank you. Thank you.
Taylor Almer, the captain of the Spokane Zephyr, who hold a 1-0 lead at halftime, courtesy of that penalty won. That penalty scored from Amina Ekich. It separates the sides at halftime. We'll give you a big picture look across the USL Super League during our halftime show coming up. It's Spokane 1, Lexington 0 at One Spokane Stadium as we enter halftime in the USL Super League.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Launches this ball and finds the winner. Oh, what a play! It's a bending effort.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
I'm a real wild one.
Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months. Or purchase with $3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 Wild bonus cash.
A one-goal lead for the Spokane Zephyr over Lexington SC at halftime at One Spokane Stadium. Amina Ekich, the lone goal between these two teams. A close-fought affair through 45 minutes. We're in halftime. We can look across the USL Super League. Carolina Ascent, a huge win over Fort Lauderdale last weekend, clinches their spot in the playoffs. There were a lot of permutations. They could clinch a semifinal hosting berth here this weekend. We'll see if that ends up playing out. Mackenzie Weiner, the player of the month, 3 goals and an assist, part of a fantastic month of April for Spokane and for Weiner individually. Gianna Gurley as well, her 5th goal of the season, pushing DC to a 1-0 victory for DC's first win of the spring schedule. And as always, on every Wednesday, you can listen to the USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season on the SiriusXM app.
The Carolina Ascent have clinched a playoff spot, plus we break down why Spokane has been so strong this spring, and our advice to the Brooklyn players.
Not only that, but stick around for the State of the Union for Fort Lauderdale United, and we're joined by Audrey Harding, winger for the Carolina Ascent. She talks about all things wedding planning, her ideal off day, and some of her game day superstitions.
That's Super League Game Week. Scan now and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Method Juice Cafe. 1-0 Spokane lead at halftime over Lexington. More halftime content to come on the other side of this break on Peacock. The Spokane Zephyr up by a goal at halftime over Lexington SC, trying to win the overall season series against their rivals from Lexington. Jack Edwards, Jeff Antonelli here with you. We can look at our first half highlights. The big moment of the game coming in the 10th minute. Amina Ekich, when she gets in these one-on-one situations, she's very dangerous. She gets one-on-one, wins the penalty, and then she scores it.
The perfect combination of speed, skill on display here, and this is what she does when she's at her best. 1v1 situation, hits her with a double step over, and it's really that big touch there that leaves the defender behind and forces her into that foul. And what are you going to do when you draw the foul when you're a player like Amina Ekich? You're going to step up and you're going to take this penalty kick. She hits a little bit of a hesitation there, gets the goalkeeper to move a little bit to her left, and then the power is just ultimately too much, making that she has scored against Lexington in every single competition that they have played this year. And it all starts with her with that step over, finishing off with a PK. And then Lexington did a good job responding here. It's Heisey. She's forced into a difficult save, backing up close to her goal line. Lexington had a little bit of an argument, but ultimately the lead leaguer in saves does a good job keeping the ball out of the back of the net and keeping the scoreline at 1-0.
Your stats after our first 45 minutes, a shot and possession edge for Spokane over Lexington. Quick thoughts on those stats from you.
Evenly played first half. I think that is exactly what we saw, and I do think that Lexington's did a good job of sticking in this game and battling, and I think it'll be very similar in the second.
Well, hello Zephyr fans. You can scan the QR code for your chance to win a $100 gift card to Rosauer's Supermarket, the official grocery store of your Spokane Velocity and Zephyr FC. Zephyr up by a goal at halftime. The second half is moments away between Spokane and Lexington. Jack Edwards and Jeff Atznella here on hand for Peacock. These two teams played a very close first 45 minutes, and they're on the field and ready for the second 45. First whistle for our second half gets us underway. There were some half chances for Lexington, but maybe the expected goals numbers just underscoring the edge that Spokane have seen. 1.02 expected for Spokane, just 0.08 for Lexington. Their chances have mostly been from distance. Can they try and change that here in our second 45 minutes? Grace Wisniewski trying to run on to the end of that. I don't think we said Grace Wisniewski's name in the entire first 45. She was in that midfield duo, a bit further advanced in the early stages. In that match against Dallas last time out for Lexington, they had a good response out of halftime, but the key is to keep those lows and those highs pretty level if any goals are still to come.
Well, this is the goal-scoring half for Lexington.
It is.
The second half is where they've been able to score goals this year, 19 to 26 in the second half, and they've already on the front foot. In the first half, Spokane jumped out on the front foot, and now look, Lexington already earns their corner kick. They've had a couple opportunities, little half chances, and almost found themselves on goal. And we're only 1 minute into the second half. So whatever the halftime speeches are that are coming out of that Lexington locker room, they seem to work. And here we are again, right on the front foot to start the second half.
This is an ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. We were talking at halftime, Jeff. You've been a bit of an oracle in this match. You've been predicting things. Will Lexington be able to get off to a good start here in the second 45? They go short with this corner. A back heel. Ooh, it was a clever idea, just not quite the execution. Guarding out wide was Katie Murray. Ends up seeing it out for a goal kick.
If that comes off, though, it's very clean and it's a very smooth play. I like the design there. Have the corner kick taker making that run down that line. And the heel pass is the important part of that because nobody's tracking this ball. They're not thinking that you're going to play the way that you aren't facing. Just, again, a little bit too much.
Jaskinek back to Bourgeois. Here's Cummings. Here's Shea Moyer. Here's Libby Moore. Vernus. Long ball forward. Aiming for White. She gets onto the end of it. Keep this one in play. If they hold, it looks like Lopez and White have flipped flanks. White rolls it back. Left-footed delivery from Mackin. Gets into the box. That clearance goes up, not away. No foul. In the end, Heisey able to fall on it. Bit of a dangerous moment there early on from Spokane. Heisey a little slow to get back onto her feet.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic in front of Heisey when she comes out for this cross, and she comes well off of her line. Ball comes in. It's this floated ball that just pops up. It looks so appetizing for a goalkeeper. A lot of traffic there, though. You got to be a little bit careful there as a goalie, especially when you're coming out. Make sure you're making the call, getting that knee up, trying to protect yourself a little bit. But Heisey ultimately, no harm, no foul. I think in that position, though, you need to be a little bit more careful with a ball that far from your goal line and two players blocking your path.
There's a slight bump in the back by Murray. The home crowd letting their feelings be heard. So I think we'd say after that first half, Jeff, a deserved halftime lead for Spokane. But it is just a one-goal game, and Lexington could find themselves right back in it, depending on how any of these marginal moments end up landing.
I think for Spokane, they found their best player in the best situation possible that she could be in. A 1v1 situation is one of the best situations that you can have for the winger.
Here's Murray. Two options in the box to aim for, to the back post. What a ball! It's 2-0. Allie Cook at the back post latches on to a brilliant pass from Katie Murray. Second assist for Murray, fourth goal for Cook. And Spokane double their lead within 5 minutes.
Well, as I get done saying that Lexington started brightly in this second half, it's this dangerous ball that's whipped in right along that back line. And Cook does such a good job of losing her defender on that far post. I mean, you cannot play a better cross than that. It's perfectly whipped. It's that low-driven ball, that outswinging ball that the goalkeeper cannot come and get. And this is what Spokane's good at. It was a moment where they had the opportunity to counter with their numbers. They used their speed, they used their width, and then Cook able to lose that defender on that back post. If you're Lexington, that one has to sting. You've been doing a good job of maintaining in this second half. You had these opportunities, you had these chances. But against a team like Spokane, you cannot turn the ball over in your defensive half, and you need to be aware at all times because they can play so quick and they go straight to goal.
Ball out of the defense. Well, Zephyr fans, get match ready with the latest Zephyr merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. There's a bump from behind against Ali Cook, the scorer of the second goal. Was hesitant there on that goal. Would the flag go up? But on second look, it was a fantastic run by Cook from a deeper position to latch onto that one. Great vision from Murray to spy the runner, not the near option, the far option, the back post.
And on the flip side, if you're Lexington, you need to be aware of those runners running over your shoulder, especially on the far post like that. Check your shoulders.
Here's Murray, drops one into the box. It's headed up across goal, not fully dealt with. Here's Cummings in the area. Her pass forces Bourgeois back, and Murray will have to recollect inside her own defensive half.
But just defensively, making sure that you're checking your shoulders whenever there's a cross coming in, because Cook in that second goal, she pops up on that far post with nobody covering her. And with that good cross in, it's just an easy tap in on that far post.
Ball over the top for Sydney Cummings. After this set piece, she's staying forward. Her delivery took a deflection. The clearance right along that end line, it arced over out for a corner kick near side of the field. Nina Ekich will make her way over. Leads the team in assists and chances created. Already has a goal today. This is the ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. Ekich goes short. Returned to Amina Ekich. Puts some delivery into the box. A header up. Bourgeois back. A good header down. And a sliding effort there from Haley Thomas. Not able to get her feet sorted and puts it over the goal.
Well, it's the same thing I just talked about with Lexington on the last set piece. They have to be able to track these runners. Thomas does a good job finding herself, but she loses that defender so easily. The Lexington defenders are staring at the ball. Know where your runner is. Put a hand on your runner. And instead, it's another opportunity on that far post for Spokane. Lexington, fortunately, they weren't able to make the most of that one.
Free kick here for Spokane.
But sometimes those lapses in judgment that we talked about with the Lexington team, they come with passes where they're very obvious. But then there's other moments of lapses where something as simple as that, tracking your runner on the far post. That's a way that you give up goals. That's a way that you lose games. And for Lexington, that's been the theme of the season. Just momentary lapses that cost them games. And they had all the momentum. It was a great cross in, don't get me wrong.
There's a ball over the top, aiming for Cook, latches onto it, drags it across. She presses the touch and earns a corner, but Ali Cook may have had more time than she realized in that situation to maybe bring it down and have a shot.
Yeah, I think she felt a little bit rushed on this one, not knowing where the defender was around her.
It's an ICCU corner kick. Your financial success fan club. They created a good chance going short back to Ekich. The delivery into the box was bounced around before Haley Thomas put a shot over the goal. Ekich this time will deliver a bouncing one into the near post. It sits up for Weiner. Her shot blocked. I'm not sure that was intentional from Ekich to have that one hop at the near post like it did, but it created a half chance for Weiner from a tight angle.
It's a good job there on the front post, making sure that you're staying your ground and holding home. A lot of times when players are on the post, they'll step off, maybe take a step forward. Instead, recognizing that she needed to stay onto that near post.
Again, Ekich near side. This time to the far post. Knotted down centrally. Pushed away, top of the box. Murray will let it drop. Maybe she was thinking for a moment there about having a shot. Opted against it. Bourgeois. Clark moves it along. This is dangerous delivery. Cummings in the box, but not able to get a header towards goal. Center back has been given some license after these set pieces to linger forward. She's making her run back to the defense in this instance.
Yeah, Cummings doing a good job of finding herself in that back shoulder from Perez. It's a good entry ball. Center back feeling comfortable with taking her space right now. She's hanging out in the midfielder as well.
Through the midfield. Cox clears it upfield. There's Lopez trying to get past her defender. A good tackle from Bourgeois. The fullback, some grass to carry it into. Forced to check up her dribble. Here's Jaskinek. That's a poor pass from the midfielder. That's a tug of the shirt. Taylor Almer. That's a vet move from the captain. Run away quickly, make sure you don't get booked.
Make sure the ref has to catch you. That's where, if you're Spokane, this is where you need to be careful. Up 2-0.
Flipped into the box, flicked towards goal, over and out for a goal kick here. Scan now and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you to Caruso's, the Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Method Juice Cafe. One back again by Lexington, inside the attacking third. Lopez shows good strength to bounce off one challenge. Can't get past Bourgeois, who's put in a pair of good challenges against the young forward for Lexington.
She's been a bright spot, re-entered into the starting lineup. Doing a great job in 1v1 opportunities defensively. But to the point I was trying to make earlier, Spokane, you don't want to let Lexington back into this game. Yeah. There's been 2 or 3 turnovers in your defensive half. Value the ball a little bit more. You have a comfortable lead against a team that has been struggling. Don't give them the opportunity to give those chances to get themselves back into the game. Stay calm, stay patient. No need to force passes that aren't going to come off as Lexington continues to step a little bit higher.
Here's Cummings. After a free kick was won by Bourgeois on her dribble upfield. It's clipped, aiming for Bourgeois. That's a really good pass to pick out Bourgeois. Her delivery into the near post. She was fouled as she was taking it. And Métis Lopez is frustrated with the foul call against her. Bourgeois helped back to her feet by Lauren Aldrich. Let's see the foul again from Métis Lopez.
It's a good ball here over the top. Bourgeois, positive first touch. And Lopez, just that elbow high to her face. Fortunate she's not getting a yellow card on this challenge. Well, there it is.
We talked about the good run you were on with things you were saying, Jeff, in those first 45 minutes. This is now the inverse. A yellow card there for Lopez. Ekich delivers dangerous ball. It falls in the 6 and it's cleared away. Sarah Cox didn't fully deal with it. Lofted forward on a header. Attempted Travella pass by Cook, intercepted. Good drop of the shoulder from Vernus. Here's Moyer. Lopez has an overlapping run, driving in field. Her shot takes a big deflection. Rolls along to Parsons. Here's White, gets it onto her left foot, her shot scuffed wide of goal. Here in the 60th minute, some subs being prepped, and they will take place now for Lexington SC. Hannah Richardson, Natalie Higgins, and Kate Doyle will enter into the game with Grace Wisniewski, Libby Moore, and Métis Lopez all to make way.
Entering the match, number 36, Kate Doyle, 18, Natalie Higgins, 13, Hannah Richardson.
Hannah Richardson, 3 goals on the season. Natalie Higgins coming into the game, it was a big moment for her last time out against Dallas. She came on for the final 15 minutes. It was her first appearance for Lexington after recovering all season from injury, able to get herself back up and fit for the final weeks of the season. Sam Stockley saying that's just the physios and what number they give him for how long he can play Natalie Higgins. They said 15 minutes last game. They said 30 to 40 this game. With 30 minutes to go, he brings Higgins into the match. Lexington defending here. Clipped into the box. Cox easily able to claim.
And the fun conversation about Higgins was that just her energy, the idea that she's going to be able to get back in the lineup, it was something that really radiated through the entire locker room. And as a player who suffered from injuries, I know what it means to work yourself back onto the field, and you appreciate every single minute that you get the opportunity to be out there. So there'll be a lot of joy for that 30 minutes.
Free kick here for Spokane. Maybe this is just outside of shooting range. Against DC Power, Mina Ekich scored a free kick from a position maybe about 3 or 4 yards closer to goal. It was a winner in the 93rd minute. This is from distance, but they may let their leading scorer have a crack. Ekich, it's just wide. That's a player full of confidence.
I thought the numbers were there on the far post if she wanted to put this ball into the back of the box, but when you have a player like Ekich and she wants to be able to take a hit, not many people are going to tell her no.
And we got 8 goals. We lead the team. It's hard to really say no. Why don't you put one into the box? She does lead the team in assists too, so you'd feel very comfortable in her ability to do that. Here is Ekich, and from open play, from distance, she gets under this one. She has that green light. She's missed on these last 2, but Ekich, who has the opener, the current match winner from the penalty spot, trying to add to her total, not just on the season, but against Lexington. We've touched on it already a couple times today. The 5 goals she scored against Lexington, 8 goals leads the club. It's been a fantastic year for the Bosnia-Herzegovina International.
In that particular sequence, I will give her a little criticism. There was a runner out wide. Could have made a different decision. She does also lead the team in assists as well, so just pick your head up a little bit. I know that you want to shoot. But there's a runner out wide that had nothing but green space in front of her.
White into the box. Moving this one onto her left foot, trying to open an angle. It's pushed away. Not bad work from Hannah White. A correction on some subs that took place. It was not Wisniewski who made way for Kate Doyle. It was Maddie Parsons. So Wisniewski still in, Parsons the sub for Kate Doyle.
Parsons not really able to get as involved as we're used to seeing her in this one. Gives way for someone a little bit more energy, see if they can add a couple sparks from the bench, get one of these goals back, get yourself right back into the game if you're Lexington.
Powerful dribble forward. This is a ball over the top. They're hoping there's an offside flag. It will not come. Delivery in here is blocked away. A corner to come for Lexington, far side of the field. This is going to be the 3rd corner of the match now for the visiting team. They've got 4 shots, none of them of major quality or probability of scoring. What can they generate from this set piece opportunity past the hour mark?
Doyle right into the game and making an immediate impact. Nothing but green space in front of her. Good through ball comes in. Earns the corner kick. I think she kind of had one more touch to get herself a little bit closer to the goal, but your first touches of the game result in a corner kick. It's a good start.
Madison Perez will take an ICCU corner kick. Your Financial Success Fan Club. A big cluster of players at the edge of the 6-yard box, beginning to make their way in. Perez delivers. Did that hit a hand in the area? There's no immediate protests from any players on the field. It's poked out of play, a throw in to come here. So that's where the protests are coming from. Sam Stockley, the coaching staff of Lexington.
The referee missed one on this one. Cross comes in. There's a hand extended from the body, coming off the head of White. There's an arm extended from the body. Lexington has every right to feel hard done.
Delivery into the back post. It goes too long. It's going to go out here for a goal kick. So we saw the protests. Let's see the reason for it. This is a cross into the back post from Perez, a header from White. Yeah, that is a handball right there.
Yeah, it's surefire handball. You see that the arm's extended. The ball comes off White's head. Arm extended inside the box. Missed PK call, missed opportunity for Lexington.
It's a hard one from that vantage point. Players probably blocking the main referee, Lauren Aldrich's view. It might have to be like the 4th official, Mark Verso, on this near side, who had the best vantage point. But even then, that's tough to pull off. Bourgeois, the nutmeg, gets knocked out of play for a throw-in for Spokane. Well, hello, Zephyr fans. You can scan the QR code for your chance to win a $100 gift card to Rosauer's Supermarkets, official grocery store of your Spokane Velocity and Zephyr FC. Jaskinek on her hits, her pass out wide. Murray comes onto it. Was she brought down? Referee says no. Let's play continue. A dribble into the box. It was Weinert, it looked to be, trying to have that one-on-one situation. That's a good drop of the shoulder. That's a brilliant pass over the top to make things difficult for Cummings. Goes all the way back to Heisey.
Some good back and forth action. That move out wide, the 1-2 with the hesitation step, take that long touch. It ended up being just a little bit too far, but good skill, 1v1 skill on display, and then Lexington doing a good job with the counterattack. Easy foul call there for the referee, 2 hands to the back.
Shane Moyer.
Pretty soon here, Lexington's gonna have to start opening up. They need to start chasing this goal a little bit more. Spokane will get opportunities when they do that, but you need to be okay with that if you're Lexington.
Murray trying to win this one back. It's a slight push from behind and a free kick. Carried upfield, moved out wide. This is delivered, maybe for the back post, pushed away. Here's Mina Ekich. Bourgeois, can she get there? Some good touches from the fullback. And she moves it centrally for Allie Cook. The striker has a lot of space here. Trying to return it to Bourgeois. Ekich will come on to the loose ball. Good bit of skill here. Weiner, a shot from distance, saved by Cox. Scan the QR code here to vote for your favorite Lumberbeard co-branded can. The winning can will be sold in stadium and select stores next month. Lumberbeard, your preferred craft brewery partner of USL Spokane. Here's Madison Perez to the feet of Moyer. 2 subs being prepped for Spokane. You could see the tops of their heads at the bottom of your screen. Sophia Braun, Winnie Balata preparing to come into the game. Long ball forward. Attempt Attempting to flick that one along was Cook, not able to. Ekich now playing on this near side as a right winger. Weiner at the far side of the field as a left winger. Moving from more traditional winger positions, left-footed winger, left side of the field, to inverted wingers, which has become a trend of more recent years.
We have a quick game of ping pong going on right now. Both teams not being able to really find that rhythm, establish this possession, comfortable in their block, both teams defensively. We need somebody to get their foot on this. We need somebody to put their foot on the ball, start dictating the flow of the game. There we go. Start breaking lines with these passes. A little bit more dynamic if you're Lexington.
Here's Libby Moore. Playing that one forward, not able to link up with her forward option. It's pushed out of play here in the 71st minute. A throw in to come for Lexington. They're down 2-0. Goals from Amina Ekich in the first half. Ali Cook 5 minutes after halftime, and two subs can now come into the game. Winnie Balata and Sophia Braun both coming into the game. Katie Murray, who assisted the second goal, and Emma Jaskinek will make way. Two subs in the midfield areas. Jaskinek was questionable entering the game with a bit of illness during the week. She served 70 minutes for her side. Makes way now. Sophia Braun, more of a center back option for this group. And Winnie Balata, originally from Quebec, but a collegiate career at SMU. Midfield option. This one into the box. Balata in the midfield, making an 8th appearance of the Super League season. Clark back to Heisey.
Spokane just not really able to connect on these through balls right now. That Lexington defense, the lines, the space between the lines is so tight. The forward line and the back line of Lexington is so tight when they get into those blocks defensively that quality ball over the top for Spokane. They'll have nothing but space in front of them with the goalkeeper. It's just that final product. We spoke about it at halftime. That final product, that final entry ball has not been there tonight. A little bit uncharacteristic for Spokane, even though they're still up 2-0.
Well, it's going to be a free kick going against Haley Thomas. Another look at this foul call going against the Spokane defender.
Yeah, anytime you raise your forearm like that will be a foul call. Thomas, she's been a bright spot tonight as well. Both of the outside backs for Spokane have done a good job defending 1v1. They've been put in situations where they've been challenged from Lexington. Lexington will throw extra numbers, but they've done such a good job, which allows them to keep those wingers high, which is one of those tactical matchups that we were talking about earlier in the match.
Throw in here alongside former MLS goalkeeper Jeff Attinella. I'm Jack Edwards here with you in the broadcast booth on Peacock. Final 15 minutes coming here as that one sliced out of play. Goal kick coming here as Richardson not able to keep that one in play. Mina Ekich a penalty. Ali Cook a fine finish on a fine pass from Katie Murray. The 2 goals so far in this match.
Success coming from the wide areas.
It's turned over. High up the field. Doyle wins it back. Moves it to the far side. Here's Hannah White. Delivers. Trying to aim for the back post. It's too strong. It goes out now for a goal kick. Stay up to date with the USL Super League by signing up for the Super Newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. Balata, a drop of the shoulder, trying to show some speed in the midfield. Holds off one defender and plays a good ball. Another one to move it out to Weinert. She's one-on-one far side of the field. Mackenzie Weinert, low delivery. Has to be tidy defending here. It is indeed from Trinity Watson. Does well to push it out of play.
Plenty of space for Spokane on that attack.
Offside flag had gone up in that sequence, it appears.
There's plenty of space for the ball to be driven, and this is what's going to happen as Lexington continues to stretch themselves out and start to force the issue. You're about to see a lot more 1v1 opportunities, space in the midfield for Spokane to take those opportunities to create on their own with the dribble. I expect this game to open up quite a bit here as Lexington's trying to chase one back and get themselves back into this one.
White playing one forward. Flag stays down. Much of the frustrations of the home crowd. Doyle, a drop of the shoulder. The substitute trying to generate something here. Two options in White in the box. Rolls one along. Vernus into the area. Pushed away. Moyer was in the area to try and pick up the loose ball. Good drag back there. Braun back to Cummings. Her pass forward, intercepted by Vernus, takes a spin. That goes into the path of Lexington and Hannah White. Here's Moore. Her touch a little heavy. Bourgeois does well to come onto it.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but it feels like Lexington's been hanging around the idea of scoring for the entire night. They've had the ball on top of the box, just not able to create those quality chances that give you the opportunity to put the ball in. But they've been around the box, they've been in and around the edge of the box pretty much the entire night, getting the ball out wide. It's just inside of the 18s, they haven't been able to figure it out.
To follow up on that point, they've had 6 shots. You see that top of your screen. The underlying stat from that is 0.17 expected goals. And if you're a nerd that I've been accused of being, that means that they have about a 3% chance of scoring on every one of their shots, which, in layman's terms, not a good chance of scoring on many of their shots.
Not good percentages.
Contrast that with 13 shots for 1.63 expected goals, a bulk of that coming, of course, from the penalty. A very good chance for Spokane. But that means they have around about an 11 to 12% chance of scoring every single one of their shots, which obviously you need to execute on the field, and that's been the story for Spokane. Is their expected goals, the underlying numbers haven't jumped remarkably as their goals have. They've just been more clinical. That's what the game comes down to, but it's hard to consistently ask your side to put away chances of low quality.
You're going to have games where the ball's going in the net, and just for Spokane, I think that it's something, once you start seeing the ball hit in the back of the net, confidence as a group continues to grow. They've been scoring more goals here in the spring than they did in the fall. So that confidence that every time you shoot the ball, you feel like it's going to hit the back of the net and you're going to envision it hitting the back of the net, that confidence only continues to grow and grow and grow. And for Spokane, it was a point that we need to be more effective with our opportunities, and they've done that so far.
Driving forward. Vernus looking at options, trying to push one to the far side of the field. Able to pick out White. White moving it in field. It's a low shot, and it's going to find the bottom corner. The flag goes up on the far side of the field, and the joy for Lexington is cut short. Some of their players are realizing now. Sam Stockley in discussion with the 4th official here. It looked like, from our vantage point, Jeff, that there was a player impeding the vision of Hope Heisey in an offside position, but we'll see again from another angle if that's the case.
The through ball comes in. White, she's done a good job out wide tonight. Doyle with the back drop. I think that's what you nailed it there. It's a player in front of the goalkeeper who takes that step over the ball that freezes the goalkeeper. That's where the offsides call comes in. As a former goalkeeper, I appreciate that offsides call, but if you're a Lexington fan, something so simple like that you had your team back into the game, but it's the right call there from the linesman and the referee because she was a distraction to the goalkeeper from an offsides position, and that'll be a flag called every time.
That's going to be a foul from behind. Play resumed quickly here. Delivery from Richardson is blocked, spins into the midfield. Staying informed about all things Super League, you can visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into the league. It's a good tackle from Bourgeois. So it's already been a match where we've seen one call likely go against Lexington, if we're being honest from our vantage point, Jeff. There was a handball in the box. It was a bang-bang play. No one on the field immediately appealing for it from Lexington. It was the coaching staff and the bench that had a good view of it that were appealing for it. It looked like an obvious handball, not given as a penalty. And we'll double back to that offside situation when we can to give you a better look on that opportunity for Lexington, who had a goal chalked off. It looked like the right call on first viewing, but we'll see if that holds up under scrutiny.
What's the saying? When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
For Lexington, that's just been the story of the season. Opportunities, opportunities. Handball, missed call in the box. As we get another look at this one. As this ball gets played back, I want you to watch the player in front of the goalkeeper for Lexington. This is where the offside flag comes up. It's that left foot that she puts out in an attempt to either distract the goalkeeper or make a deflection. The ball doesn't hit her foot or anything, but if you're in an offense position and you're being distracting to the goalkeeper, that's the right call.
Balata slips as she has a crack, trying to get her first goal for Spokane. It's impacting play from an offside position. Otherwise, if you think about, you know, if you're frustrated on a Lexington front, strip that rule away, and Jeff, you'd have a nightmare as a former goalkeeper. They would just line players up at an offsides wall. You could see nothing, and they just have shots from distance. Hey, we didn't touch it, so it's not offside.
That would have been an interesting game.
That would have been a very different game. It's not the game that we have. Here's Lexington, down by 2 goals. Sliding one to the far side of the field. It's blocked, and it's going to spin out of play. Throw in to come.
I do think the substitutes for Lexington have been a bright spot in this game. They've come on and really changed the tempo. That's what you need from the bench players. You want them to come on, try to add a little bit of something. I think all the bench players that have come on have done that so far.
Out of play here. It's out for a goal kick. Elite Minds, unlock your mind. Unlock your game. Visit our website here today. 8 minutes and change left in our match. Spokane trying to see how to win. That offside goal chalked off for Lexington means that it's not quite the nervy finish it could have been if they had scored a goal. Spokane entered the day at home against bottom of the league. Expected to get this result down, but as things stand, a chance to push themselves further up in the USL Super League. They've never really had a foothold in the league, Jeff, in terms of any position. But if this holds, they'd wait for tomorrow to see if Tampa Bay can retake their spot in 3rd place. But with the win for Brooklyn, a heavy win over Fort Lauderdale earlier today, they would go level on points with them at 3rd, ahead on tiebreaker. Kenzie Weinert down, feeling her knee.
I think the exciting thing for Spokane, they want to be in this playoff position. It's the charge that they had to pull off to get to where they are right now. They're in 3rd place, but 7 out of the last 10 in the spring season. If they win this one, it's 8 out of 11. And they've been playing playoff-style soccer straight from the coach's mouth. They've been playing playoff-style soccer this entire spring. So this is a team that's hot, a team that's been playing this way for a long time. Those are the teams that can really make a lot of noise in the playoffs. So if Spokane's able to keep themselves above that playoff line, this is a group that has the type of momentum that can make some noise.
Well, if you look at their games in the spring, they've won 8. They will have lost 2, and those 2 games will have been a 2-1 defeat at home to Carolina and a more heavy 3-0 defeat on the road to Carolina. So the top team in the league, who have won 6 straight games, the only team to have secured a playoff spot, are the only team that have beaten Spokane in the spring. Obviously, you need to beat the best to be the best come playoff time. That takes a deflection in the area, pushed away. Balata carries it out of the 18. But to finish that point, Spokane have been very good in 2025. Galata from behind. Weinert lets this one run. She was down for a moment, holding her knees. At a foul from behind. Yes, it is. She kicks that one away in frustration. And she's going to find herself booked here. Mackenzie Weinert for dissent. Likely not the severity of that foul. She was about to come off the field anyways for Natalie Vigiano.
It's a situation where you want to earn your yellow cards, but Weinert, good speed. It's that arm swim. It's that arm swim that the referee sees that is the reason for that foul call. There's not much contact there, but anytime that you involve your arms and a player hits the deck, it puts the referee in a situation where she'll feel comfortable making that call. I understand the frustration from the Spokane side, but keeping your hands down, making sure you're not pulling on anything, using your arms to get that type of leverage, and that's a situation where the foul wouldn't be called.
She's booked, but it's her final contribution of the day. No goal in this match for Weinert. Threatening performance from her. Coming off a game with 2 goals, a Player of the Month display in the month of April.
Chances created, though. She did a good job out wide.
Indeed.
A couple times cutting in, getting shots off, going down the line, getting crosses in. That's what you want out of your wingers.
It's a throw in for Lexington, but it's not taken from the proper spot, so they'll do it again, far side of the field. Earlier today, Brooklyn winning 4-1 on the road against Fort Lauderdale. That's going to be the next opponent for Spokane coming up. They'll be on the road at Brooklyn. Into the box now, Lexington. Richardson trying to open an angle, cuts it back for more. That's a solid ball right towards the penalty spot. Pushed away only as far as Hannah Richardson. First time ball fired in towards White. White keeps herself in the area. Bourgeois. Here's Amina Ekich. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time left. Bourgeois, the pass is going to be behind her here. And has to slide in to get it to Allie Cook. Just shows you the mentality right now for Spokane. They'd love to add another goal. It's rolled in one-on-one, parried away. Still a chance here in the box. Important defensive work after the save from Sarah Cox. It was a shot from Sophia Braun, the center back, trying to score her first for Spokane. And now they're a little stretched. Numbers forward for Lexington. Laid off. It's cleared away. Here's Braun. She's playing in a midfield role here today.
Well, it's the delayed run from the midfield that creates that space for Sophia Braun. The Lexington back line has been playing very flat all night long, so those runs in behind, if you're able to connect with that pass, those have been on. But as good as the run was from Sophia Braun, Cox, the goalkeeper for Lexington, right space, right time, good place to put the rebound as well. Big time save.
Last touch by Ekich there. It rolls out of play.
Substitution for Lexington SC.
Emma Johnson, the 17-year-old Academy player, able to come in for Shea Moyer. So Moyer makes way. The young forward slash midfielder Johnson coming into the match. Mina Ekich, defensive work here. Pass put out of play. Lexington trying to pull off a miracle here. Cause some late chaos. Some late anxiety at a minimum for Spokane. Ekich keeps it in play on the pass from Cook, and it's rolled back now to Cummings. All the way to Heisey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes.
We're into second half stoppage time presented by Rosar's Supermarket. There's 3 minutes added on at the end of our 90 minutes. Sophia Braun, a slight poke away. Referee saying that's her last warning. It's a free kick in the center circle for Lexington. Lexington building out from the back. Far side of the field, Julie Mackin moves in onto her left foot. Cuts it back. Vernus back to Mackin. A lot of numbers back in blue. Cummings slices one forward. It's going to roll out for a throw-in. 1 minute of the 3 down here. Lexington, it's their final road match of the season at home against Tampa Bay, Fort Lauderdale, and DC Power. So still a chance they play an impact on the playoff race. They themselves will not participate in the playoffs, eliminated from contention, but they'll play in their next 2 games against some Florida sides who right now are on the outside looking in.
I think Lexington did a good job in terms of what they were trying to improve on. There weren't momentary lapses in the game tonight. And in their defense, they have the right to feel a little bit hard done. Game goes down 2-0. They do a good job responding. Clear handball in the box. Call is missed. Another goal that was scored. A little bit offsides. Just a little bit of distraction from the goalkeeper. Nothing egregious. The goals that they've given up weren't lapses in judgments. There were good plays there from Spokane. So it's an opportunity, I think, where Lexington can take this game, even though they didn't get the result, take some positives from it, and continue to try and be this spoiler as the playoffs go on. This is a prideful team. This is a prideful organization. They want to get results. So don't think that this is going to be a team that's just going to roll over for the rest of the season.
Cushion out of the feet. Richardson, a shot from distance saved by Heisey. After the fall, Spokane had just 12 points. With this win here today, they are moments away from securing. They will have won 8 of 11 games. And they will have pushed themselves up into 3rd spot in the USL Super League. Still, a few games to go. Their position not secure, but a playoff push that head coach Joe Johnson says started at the turn of the year. It's getting closer and closer to success. Clipped forward. We've had the 3 minutes. A glance at the watch, and full-time whistle goes. Spokane winners of 5 straight at home. 8 of 11 in the spring. Up to 3rd place in the USL Super League with a 2-0 win over Lexington.
For Spokane tonight, it wasn't perfect. They wanted to press the ball a little bit higher, but they got the job done. And that's what you do, professional performance. They've been in playoff mode all spring season long. 8 of 11 now, 5 in a row at home. And that's just what you need to do in order to keep charging up the playoffs. Even when you're not playing your best game, put together a professional performance, press the ball high, get the ball to your best player, let them create, and then wait for those special moments where you're able to get those goals. That's what's been the formula, and that's what it was tonight.
Well, let's look at one of those goals. Let's look at tonight's play of the match. It's brought to you by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. So it's the ball that's won back here. Katie Murray just gets onto it. Doesn't look at the near option, the far option. Allie Cook, what a ball.
And what I really love about that was the immediate reaction from Murray when she sees that loose ball in the middle of the field. She says, I'm going to go get that ball. There's so much space on that right side. And look at this cross. It's picture perfect. She picks her head up. She has nothing but space. There are no defenders around here. And then it's Allie Cook making that far post run off of that back shoulder. Easy finish for her. And a great play there from the assist from Katie Murray.
4 goals now in the season for Cook, 2 assists for Murray. A 2-goal win for Spokane. On the other side, we talked to the other goal scorer, Amina Ekich, after another win at home for the Spokane Zephyr, this time by 2 over Lexington. Full time from One Spokane Stadium. Spokane win their 5th consecutive game at home, this time by a score of 2-0 over Lexington SC. Jack Edwards and Jeff Attanella now joined by Amina Ekich, scorer of the first goal. Amina, appreciate your time. Let's jump back to the first half. You win that penalty, you take it. Walk us through that sequence for the first goal.
Of course. We won the ball, our outside backs pushed high, and I found that pocket in the middle. We worked it through the middle, found me, and then I took it 1v1, and I could win a foul in the box.
In your opinion, what has been the main difference for the team so far during the spring run? You guys are in incredible form in the second half of the season. From a player perspective, what's been the difference as you guys see it from the locker room?
Things have just clicked. I think we're working hard even when it doesn't look pretty, and I think the important thing is that we have each other's backs. I mean, obviously we went through the fall and we stuck together and we worked together through the worst of it, so it's easy now when things are kind of rolling our way and, you know, we're kind of getting form heading into the end of the season and hopefully playoffs.
So for you personally, you've now got 5 goals in 4 games against Lexington. As a Louisville native yourself, is it a grudge thing? Why do you think you've had such success against Lexington so far this season?
I don't know. I think it's just a coincidence, to be honest. But, you know, happy to win and happy to keep scoring.
Appreciate the time, Amina. Congrats on the goal. Congrats on the win. Best of luck in the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
That's Amina Ekich. Scored her 8th goal of the campaign. Let's flash through these highlights. It was a strong performance from Spokane, probably deserving winners. Here's that sequence again. She beats her player one-on-one, gets into the box, wins that penalty, and when she's going to get into this position, she's so dangerous.
Well, we had just talked about this goal. Any 1v1 situation for her is a positive for the Spokane team, and then, of course, who's going to take the penalty kick? She steps up, hits a little bit of a hesitation, gets the goalkeeper going the other way, has just enough power on it to add to her score tally. And then from there, it was really what Spokane wanted to do for the rest of the night. They wanted to get themselves in those 1v1 situations, those turnover situations, and this is really the game. This is really the goal that swung this game for me. It's the second goal. Look at the reaction from Murray. She's the first one to that ball, and she comes from 25 yards away, whips a dangerous ball into Cook, who's able to find that space on the back shoulder of the back post defender. Perfect ball in, but really it's that reaction from Murray that I really appreciate, because there's a loose ball in the middle of the field. She's the first one to get there, And that's just the type of reactions that they've had tonight. And we're talking about this. This is kind of the luck that Lexington has had. Ball gets played past, bouncing ball, offsides call, distracting the goalkeeper, and this would have been a big-time goal for Lexington. I thought that they did a good job of building themselves and playing themselves into this game and keeping themselves in it, no matter what Spokane was doing. But when you have calls like that going against you, it makes it tough.
Some final moments here as well. Sophia Braun, a great run along the back line. You wouldn't realize she's a center back by trade. Not quite able to put that one home.
No, it was a good save there from the goalkeeper, Cox. But that's that run from the midfield here. Perfectly timed run. But good job there from Cox to keep the scoreline at 2-0.
They kept it at 2-0. That's how it would finish between Spokane and Lexington. Our full-time stats here today, 15-9 in the shots, a few more on target, a bit more possession for deserved winner Spokane.
Yeah, deserved winners, but I did think it was an evenly played game. If Lexington on a different night, there was a handball in the box that wasn't called, that offsides call. It was the right call, but the distraction and things like that, those are things that just happen to teams that aren't having the best of luck at the moment. So for Lexington, I thought it was a solid performance, but again, professional performance from Spokane. It wasn't perfect, but they got the job done.
2-0, they win here today. Let's look at how that impacts the standings. They leap from 6th to 3rd. That's good viewing if you're a Spokane fan.
And we had talked about it in the open, that this was a huge game for them to get 3 points because anything could happen across the league tonight. And they go from 6th place to 3rd place, one result, one game. They have games remaining on the schedule, but you always want to be above that line, especially at this point in the season, because now it's theirs to hang on to.
There are still games in hand for Tampa Bay and Fort Lauderdale, but as of now, Spokane in a playoff spot. Their long playoff push in 2025 close to being completed. They win today by a score of 2-0. They're at Brooklyn FC next time out. Lexington head back home to take on Tampa Bay next time out. For my broadcast partner, Jeff Attinella, and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Jack Edwards saying so long from One Spokane Stadium. A final score, Spokane 2, Lexington 0.